Hey guys, welcome to this week's version of Teddy's Teaching Tuesday, and today we're going to be going over a dynamic effort workout for the upper body that we did at the end of our athletic phase. So let's get to it. So those of you that have been following along, we've been going through a phase where we're working on being as athletic as possible. So the main focuses of that for us are trying to get more mobile and trying to be as explosive as possible. So the first thing we've been doing in each of our workouts this time, which is a little bit different, is working on mobility. So as you can see through the exercises laid out in this upper body mobility video, you'll see that we're focusing on things that allow us to move through the shoulder joint better, and also potentiate a lot of those upper back and shoulder girdle muscles that increase the integrity of the shoulder. So once we were done with that, we move on to the main movement, which is speed bench with a football bar and 2 chains on each side. So the reason I like this setup is, one, the bar is angled a little differently for your grip, so it allows a little bit of tension to be eased up on the shoulders. Also, with this not being a straight bar, you have to grip it a lot tighter in order to stabilize the bar. Then on top of that, we put the chains on the bar, which cause the load to be even more unstable as you're pressing through it. So if you're trying to press this for speed, you're going to have to keep your stabilizers very engaged in order to stabilize the weight while moving it as fast as possible. So whenever I program speed waves, I always try to go from the lightest weight to the heaviest weight by the 3rd week. So the first week, we're trying to move it 1.0 meters per second, okay? So when I'm programming that for most people, I try to typically say at 30% of that. The reason being for that is that we want to move it as fast as possible, so we're trying to keep the load very light. So while messing with this Tendo unit that you'll see in the video, we've been playing around with it at the different percentages to see what our speed is at that given percentage. So for most people, they don't have access to an accelerometer like the Tendo unit, so that's why I give a percentage base to kind of follow along. But after using the Tendo unit with my clients who have different backgrounds, such as being a salesman, being a parole officer, being a massage therapist, and the percentages are pretty in line with the speed we're trying to move at. So in this video, we're at the end of our speed phase, so we're trying to move the bar at 0.8 meters per second. So I'll give you a chart here to show you that the reason we try to move between 0.8 meters per second and 1.0 meters per second is because it's the speed that kind of correlates with the barbell movements and the most carryover into getting as maximally strong as possible. So here, sometimes we don't always hit our mark, so we adjust the weight accordingly. So at this point of the phase, it would be 40% of your 1 rep max, or 0.8 meters per second. But again, because sometimes you may have a very stressful day, or you just had something that was very tiring, you may want to adjust the percentages. So if you don't have a Tendo unit, it's going to be really hard to adjust that max. So again, just really try to keep the weight low and move the weight as fast as possible. So once we are done with the main movement, we go into our accessory work, where we're focusing on things on the upper back, but also trying to improve shoulder integrity as well. So you'll see with the dumbbell internal and external rotators and the chest supports and Cuban press, we're really trying to get our rotator cuffs as strong as possible, but also encouraging mobility within the joint. So my point here is that you can have tons of mobility but little strength, and it's not going to get you very far. So what we're better off doing is trying to gain mobility through strength. What I mean by that is we're trying to press through a different range of motion with a light weight and really get mobile within that movement. So on top of that, we're doing some upper back work. So the bird dog rows are one of my new favorites because it forces you to, one, stabilize your body and have more awareness of it, 2, it really focuses you or forces you to perfect the movement. And 3, it controls the amount of weight you're going to do. So a lot of times I'll give a client a single arm dumbbell row, and then when I'm not looking, they'll grab something heavier and completely botch the movement. So with this bird dog row, it really forces you to perfect the movement and do it with a weight that's actually beneficial to you. And then last but not least, we're doing some additional upper back work to really focus in on trying to balance our pushing versus our pulling. So especially with modern day living, we try to always do at least twice as much, if not 3 times as much pulling as we do pushing. So I hope you guys found this useful, and if you want to do the workouts that we're doing, they're on Train Heroic. There's a 7-day free trial with them, so that way if you don't like it at the end, you can just cancel and you didn't lose out on anything. But I think you guys will find that these are very well thought out, and they're really nice to follow along with the exercise demos that are provided on there to kind of give you a guide of how we expect the movement to be done and how it should be done. So until next time, I'll see you guys around.